Today we're going to be discussing this 9.02 carat natural diamond. That's big. Not in the setting, the stone came out. What's going on over here? Welcome back to the studio. My name is Yaku. Behind the camera, as per usual, is the Maya. We share what we do in the workshop with you.
Hang on, did the customer bring in the ring without the stone?
Yes.
Oh no.
I made the setting previously, and this was about 7 years ago, round about there. I looked at the ring and I thought to myself, let me inspect it, let me find out why it happened. It's the first thing I did. I went onto the microscope. The claws were still pretty solid. However, one claw was completely bent open. Over the years, I've noticed some wear and tear on the ring, but I've never been worried about the claws. It tells me that there must have been some serious trauma. The customer came back to me, explained it was a skiing accident, knocked it incredibly hard, and the only way that I could imagine that this would have opened up is if it knocked it this side of the diamond and let the diamond elevate that claw open. Let's talk about damage to start off with. Rings aren't indestructible. That isn't the type of use that we make them for. I made the ring, I maintained the ring, so there's no reason for the stone to come out. The customer has another large diamond ring that she wore next to this, and what it had done is it had actually scratched the diamonds on the sides of the setting. So I could have done the repair, but I felt that we should go back to its original shape, refresh everything and change all the small diamonds out that were either broken out or scratched. Not the traditional style of making it, and perhaps if you're working with something like an emerald cut or even an oval stone, I've even applied this to some round stones as well. It might be one of the types of settings that you want to try and get the same sort of look. I create a perfectly round ring and then I cut it in two.
Why? Because
this rounding over here will support it, and you'll have that little lift on the side to make sure that you've got enough material to fold around the stone itself. Now the manipulation is going to start. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the middle of this half round and bring it together. Close them up. So I'm creating more of a V towards the bottom. If you're looking at the stone in this direction, I'm dealing with these two claws with one half of the ring I've just prepared, and these two with the other half. Then I'm now taking this piece like this, turning it this way, and then cutting from this direction. So I'm creating like a little corner. And that corner is now going to slowly, as I'm folding it, is going to fold itself from a position like this. It's going to fold into a point where they're going to meet up exactly the corners, because I've measured this distance. So if I'm opening them up like this, they're going to meet up the corners and the angles of the corners of the emerald cut diamond that I'm busy working with. I'm looking over the top of the camera because I'm looking at the Maya's face, making sure she understands what I'm saying, because if she gives me an indication that she understands what I'm saying, then I know that the message comes through. It creates this beautiful rounding towards the center, and where they meet in the center there's a point here because this has been cut away, and the point on the other side, and on that point I then file away slightly and make sure my angle is correct this way. The ends don't quite match up with the ends over here because the stone's going to drop, and because everything moves towards the center, as I'm moving the stone down, those parts are going to move closer to the actual claws. So I'm setting it up in this way so that I can anticipate the claws to be where they're supposed to be when they dropped. I want it to be strong, and I want it to be stable, and I want it to be beautiful, and I'm working towards these factors, and there's just no recipe because all the stones are going to be different, but that's the way I approach the basic structure of my setting. And then I'm going to cut away an equal amount on each side to be able to drop the stone into position. I then have that solid bit of metal that I can pull around and set the stone. I'm creating a taper towards the inside to make sure my stone's seated correctly. And when I find that the taper corresponds with the stone and it hugs it nicely, I'm going to now create the support to sort of secure them to each other.
Call in the reinforcements.
The reinforcements, indeed. I'm melting a little bit of platinum and I'm taking a sort of 1.5 millimeter thickness of it and I'm creating a rectangular shape. It gets a little tricky because we're working with something that's rounded like this, so you have to sort of file it slowly away to make sure that when you seat it, that your setting sits perfectly, holding as much as you can from each one of the claws. I'm just making the setting of the ring. There's no reason to change the shank, nothing's happened to it. So I've taken the stones out of the shank, the first stones on the side here, because I know that I'm going to apply serious heat to put this very important setting back into the ring itself. And by applying heat here with platinum, you stand a chance of burning the diamonds. And now it's time to clean up the shank itself and bring the two parts together. We had all these small stones previously that I harvested from the previous setting. We can actually pre-drill the holes. I can turn the ring continuously, making sure that I've got a balance, and then as I'm going up, checking on that balance, making sure that we've got an equal amount of stones, equal spacing going up to the top. It's exactly what it was, plus maybe a few percentage points up because it's slightly thicker. You do get customers that are pretty hard with their hands, which is nothing wrong with it, but if you know that that's the case, we need to bulk it up just ever so slightly, and we ended up with a happy customer. Thank you very much for watching this. I'm so grateful that the customer allowed me to share this with you. We're sharing it because hopefully there's something in there that you pick up and you can use in your own work. If that's the case, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this thing. Really appreciate it.
It'd be quite boring and pointless. It wouldn't be boring, but it would be pointless. Oh no, would it be pointless? It wouldn't be as
It'll be a
meaningful.
different point altogether.
Exactly.
At this point.
Exactly.
We've received a lot of love from you guys for doing what we're doing. It's a niche market, and yet here we are climbing and understanding that people are actually enjoying it. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Cheers.